On the campus of UMass Boston. It's another non-conference doubleheader between the UMass Boston Beacons out of the Little East Conference and the Salem State Vikings out of the MASCAC. Hi, everybody. Bill Spalding. Glad to be with you today for the 46th and 47th meetings all-time between UMass Boston and Salem State. Salem State leads the all-time series 35-10, but UMass Boston has had the upper hand lately, including their last meetings, a doubleheader 2 years ago here at UMass Boston, where the Beacons won 8-0 and 5-0. Last Vikings win was all the way back in 2014. Even though these teams aren't separated by all that far, they've only met 2 times in the last 5 seasons. Jess Greenspan was great the last time these teams met 2 years ago. That was her freshman season. And now graduated Caitlin Morse was 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored during that doubleheader as well. 3 things you need to know going into today. Well, number 1, there's a familiar face across the way. Gia Ruskowski, class of 2017 here at UMass Boston, is a Vikings assistant coach in her first season with Salem State. Salem State currently on an 8-game losing streak since April 8th. They've been outscored by 41 runs during that stretch, falling to 2-8 in the MASCAC Conference. Then the other big number today that we're watching is the number 200. If UMass Boston gets the victory in one of the 2 games today, they get to 200 wins for Natalia Ardagna as the head coach at UMass Boston. Beacons had a big weekend against Keene State to vault themselves up in the Little East Conference standings. A doubleheader sweep, 2 close games. Let's look back to the highlights from that doubleheader.
Back it up, down for all traffic, you know, make me pull that photo. I see what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, bitch, so mud life. We come together, holding hands and holler mud life. We all strapped in all black, it's like mud life. You riding the what? Cause you riding the night. Now she riding with me cause you wasn't riding that night. No matter what. What's up for? Yeah! They stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. And if you can win it, put your hands make them stay there.
Oh, water getting boiled. Snoopy in the hootie. System overload. I've been running this rap game since I...
Well, besides that, I had to take religion classes, and I had a lot of friends that go to public school, so they all had to do CCD and take all classes like that. But it was included in my curriculum, and I never have not taken a religion class until now, so that's kind of weird. There was a lot of rules, like when I went to elementary school, a lot of my friends, like I said, they went to public school, so I always had to wear a uniform, and they had a lot more freedom than I did, and they talk about how they could always go out for recess and all things like that. And my school was a little more strict, so we had to stay in or like do homework and things like that. But then I left that elementary school in the seventh grade, and I went to St. Mary's, which was a lot more for a Catholic school. Was a lot more different than my elementary school. Um, it was a lot more laid back, and the dress code wasn't as intense. So I could wear like khakis and a polo, but in elementary school I had to wear a skirt, a like dress shirt, and a blouse and a sweater. It's like noticeably more flexible. Like in classes, we talk about things that I never thought we'd talk about in high school or anything like that. We always learned that that was wrong to talk about, and we always just had like our set like thoughts, like what the teacher said. That's like what we thought. So here, it's nice to just like be open to other things and things like that, and listen to other people's point of views about things that I just heard my teacher's points of views about. In my meaning of life philosophy class, we talked about like since I went to Catholic school, we always talked about like there's heaven, like there's this and there's that. But in my meaning of life class, we talked about a lot of different things, like what if there is no heaven, what if there is no hell, or things like that. So I never really talked about that before. So that was interesting to actually think about differently. So in high school, we didn't get a chance to study like what we wanted. So now that I'm here studying exercise and health science, which is something I'm very interested in, I feel like I'm a lot more interested in all my classes, and I'm learning about how the body works and all things like that. So it's a lot more, it makes class fun, and it's actually like helps me to think about what I'm going to do with my future.
So a little bit more to know on Tori DeCenzo's hitting in the 8th spot today for UMass Boston. Getting set for game 1 of a doubleheader between the Beacons and the Salem State Vikings. Let's run you through the starting lineup. We'll start with visiting Salem State, 11-19 on the season, 2-8 in the MASCAC. Leading things off is Luciana Mastro Mateo, the first baseman. She's a freshman, second on the team, hitting at .357. Batting second, playing shortstop, another freshman, Gracie Hogan. In the 3 spot, the pitcher, Dominique Del Vecchio, first year as a primary pitcher for this Salem State squad. In left field, it's Casey Nolan, the senior, hitting .325 on the year. Chloe Manusis, the second baseman, another senior, bats in the 5 spot. Senior Gabriana Cardenas, the third baseman, hits 6th. She's followed by Gianna Berkowitz, the right fielder, a sophomore, batting 7th. In the 8th spot, it's center fielder, senior Courtney Kilgore. And in the 9th spot, Sydney Chiasin, the designated player. The flex today is the catcher, Abby Feinstein. For the Beacons, on a 3-game winning streak at 17-12 on this season, Gigi Braga leads things off playing shortstop. She's a junior. Junior Giovanna Bonilla is the center fielder, batting 2nd. Roxy Vento, the senior top hitter at Boston College, is the catcher. She bats 3rd. Melissa Tolley once again in the cleanup spot, playing designated player. In the 5-hole, it's Kelly Danahy, the second baseman, a sophomore. Junior Ari Bellata plays 3rd base, bats 6th. Kira Pressmack, the left fielder, a junior, bats 7th. In the 8th spot, Tori DeCenzo. Taylor Polina bats 9th. And Jess Greenspan pitches today.
On mental health throughout this year, and would like to take a moment for all those people who have suffered from mental health issues, including Sergeant Rachel Reed McKay, a friend of the Beacons, who unfortunately took her own life earlier this month. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could please stay rising with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, we're set for action here on the campus of UMass Boston. Cloudy day, temperature around 50 degrees. Ready for two between the Beacons and the Vikings. First time these teams have played in 2 seasons. Beacons swept the doubleheader back in 2017. They've only played twice in the last 5 seasons. Again, the starting lineup for Salem State, Luciana Mastro Mateo plays first base, leads things off. Gracie Hogan, the shortstop, bats second. Then it's Dominique Del Vecchio, the pitcher, followed by Casey Nolan, the left fielder. In the 5 spot, second baseman Chloe Manusis. Batting 6th, Gabriana Cardenas, the third baseman. Gianna Berkowitz, the right fielder, bats 7th. Courtney Kilgore, the center fielder, bats 8th. And Sydney Chiason, the designated player, hits 9th. They'll face the UMass Boston right-hander Jess Greenspan, who is the reigning Little East Conference Pitcher of the Week. Greenspan, 16 games, 15 starts, 12-5 record, 2.80 ERA. She's pitched 110 innings, giving up just 112 hits, walking only 33, striking out 63. Pitched 13 1/3 innings in the doubleheader sweep against Salem State, 2-0 and 2-1 wins. Gave up only 2 earned runs on the day, and only 9 hits and 3 walks. Could be a milestone day for Greenspan. She is already the all-time leader in wins and saves at UMass Boston. Also the all-time leader in shutouts, innings pitched, and appearances. Second in both complete games and strikeouts. With a complete game today, she will tie Michelle Zullo, 60, most all-time for UMass Boston. With 3 strikeouts today, she ties Zullo. With 4, she passes her to become the all-time leader in strikeouts at UMass Boston. It'll be a busy next couple of days for UMass Boston with the weather forecast for the weekend. Beacons will play Rhode Island College for 2 tomorrow instead of Saturday as scheduled.
Leading off the top of the first baseman number 8, Luciana Mastro Mateo.
Luciana Mastro Mateo leads things off for Salem State. Again, the Vikings trying to snap an 8-game losing streak. They've been outscored during those 8 games by an average of almost 8 runs to 3. Mastro Mateo, a freshman from Peabody, Massachusetts, takes a ball. Entire roster for Salem State is from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the majority from the North Shore, not all that far from Salem. Greenspan's 1-0 is off the plate away. Umpires today, Sherman Rodding is the plate umpire, and Paul Lacasse is the base umpire. .2-0 from Greenspan. Hit hard, foul. Past head coach Alex Campione, in her first season, she coaches third base for Salem State. Mentioned familiar face in that dugout, Gia Razkowski, actually over at first base right now. Former Beacon who graduated in 2017. Good pitch from Greenspan. Runs the count to 2-2 on Mastro Mateo. 357 hitter, 9 runs batted in at the top of the order. Salem State is a good team average. They hit 307 as a group. Score close to 5 runs per game. Mastro Mateo in the air to center field. Bonilla into the gap, still tracking. She runs it down. 1 away. Rest of the defense, along with Bonilla in center, Kira Pressmack is in left field. Taylor Paulina is in right. Third baseman's Ari Bellata. The shortstop is Gigi Braga. Kelly Danahy plays second. Tori DeCenso at first. Roxy Vento, the catcher. And Jess Greenspan pitches. Gracie Hogan, freshman shortstop, bats. First pitch swinging. Blasts it past the third baseman, Bellata. It's a single. First hit of the day for Salem State. So they have an early base runner, 1 down. Junior pitcher Dominique Del Vecchio, the 3-hole hitter, hitting at .261 on the year. No home runs, 19 RBIs. Del Vecchio takes a ball low. Out of Stoneham, Massachusetts, but at Stoneham High School and was a club teammate with Beacon shortstop Gigi Braga. Greenspan just off the plate, 2-0. coming off an excellent weekend against Keene State. Again, pitched 13 1/3 innings in the 2 sweeps to pick up 2 wins. Gave up only 9 hits throughout the entirety of those 13 1/3 innings. There's a strike, knee high. Only 3 walks over the 13 1/3. Again, only the 2 earned runs. Pair of 2-1 Beacon wins. It's hit in the air, deep center field. Bonilla going back again, and she has out number 2. Wind is blowing out today, so the ball will carry. 2 down. Hogan stays on first for the cleanup batter, Casey Nolan.
The left fielder, number 3, Casey Nolan.
Nolan, one of 3 consecutive seniors in the order, and unlike most of her teammates who are from the North Shore of Massachusetts, she's from the South Shore in Braintree, Massachusetts. She takes ball 1. Nolan hitting .325 on the year, has 3 triples and 2 doubles to go along with 14 RBIs. Ball out of the zone. Greenspan has fallen behind against each of the first 4 batters. That's unusual for her. (2-0). Splits the plate in half for a strike, 2-1. With the 2 conference wins on Saturday, UMass Boston leveled its record at 5-5 in the conference season, putting them in a tie for 4th with Keene State. Pitch misses well wide. 3 games out of first at this point, behind Plymouth State, UMass Dartmouth, and Eastern Connecticut State. Beacon still have Rhode Island College, Castleton, and Southern Maine left in conference play. All 3 of those teams at the bottom of the conference standings. Swing and a miss. Greenspan with a good pitch. The snap back to first is late, tracking Hogan. Greenspan looking to put away Nolan and earn her 261st career strikeout. Rise ball is fouled back. Greenspan off speed, hit in the air, deep center field for the 3rd time in the inning. Giovanna Bonilla has it, and the inning's over. So Greenspan works around the fly out to center and a pair of flyouts later on, working around that single through a half an inning. UMass Boston and Salem State knotted up at 0. All right, no scores. We head to the bottom of the first, and we get our first look at right-handed pitcher Dominique Delvecchio, thrust into a pitching role this season after she'd played first base for most of her first 2 years with Salem State. This is her 8th start, her 20th game overall. Delvecchio is 4-5 with a 5.60 ERA. 65 innings pitched. She's given up 102 hits and 53 walks while striking out 19. Walked 9 in her last outing. Delvecchio will face a Beacon order that looks like this. Shortstop Gigi Braga, who's hitting at .313 on the year, leads things off. Giovanna Bonilla batting at .423, hits second. Roxy Vento hits third. She's batting .435 on the season. Alyssa Tully's moved up into a big hitter's role. She's the cleanup batter today, batting at .304 on the year. Kelly Danahy hitting .261. She's in the 5 spot. Ari Bellata, the 6-hole hitter, plays third. She's batting .456 on the season. Left fielder Kiro Presmack hitting at .328 is in the 7 spot. In the 8 hole, it's first baseman Tori DeCenso, and Taylor Paulina plays right field. She was one of the heroes of the weekend sweep against Keene State. She'll bat 9th. Gigi Braga will lead things off for UMass Boston. No, she was looking forward to this one, playing against her club teammate Delvecchio. And Delvecchio pitched and played first for that club team where Gigi was the shortstop. And Delvecchio's dad was the head coach. Pitch way out of the zone. Yeah, we mentioned that Wildness has been an issue for Delvecchio. 53 walks against just 16 strikeouts, and she walked 9 last time out. Missing down low, it's 2-0. Two-0 pitch to Braga. It is called a ball outside, 3-0. Salem State lost one of their top pitchers at the start of the year. That's why Delvecchio has been thrust into a big role. And it starts with a walk. Part of the reason why they have struggled lately, losing 8 straight games. Leadoff base runner Gigi Braga for the Beacons.
Center fielder number 5, Giovanna Bonilla.
Giovanna Bonilla in the 2-hole for the Beacons, hitting at .423 in her junior season. She takes called strike. Fun to watch her transform over the past 3 years. Transitioned as a slap hitter in her freshman year. Got comfortable throughout last season. Now this year it's really started to click. New York City native puts it on the ground. That's well done. Giovanna Bonilla is safe. Infield single for Bonilla, perfectly struck. 2 aboard, nobody out for the Beacons to start the first. So Roxy Vento will bat next, and before that we get time taken by Abby Feinstein. She's the catcher for Salem State. At first base it's Luciana Mastro Mateo. Chloe Manusis plays second. Gracie Hogan, the shortstop. Gabriana Cardenas is the third baseman. Casey Nolan in left field. Courtney Kilgore in center. And Gianna Berkowitz is the right fielder.
The catcher, number 9, Roxanne Vento.
Roxy Vento digging in, takes called strike. Leads the team, hitting at .435, 2 home runs, 28 RBIs. First all-time at UMass Boston home runs, RBIs, walks, hit by pitches, doubles, and games played. Off speed, fouls it back. Other records that she's closing in on. She's 12 hits away from the Beacon all-time hit record of 197. She is 31 bases away from the total base record of 308. And she is 19 at-bats away from the most all-time. Big lead for Braga after that ball. She retreats to second. Pitch from Delvecchio to Vento. Hammered off Delvecchio. Free to second base. Manusis throws. And now they've got the runners caught. Vento ruled safe at first. It's a base hit. So another infield single, bases loaded for the Beacons, nobody out after Delvecchio nearly hauled that one in. That's Roxanne Vento's 186th career hit, now just 11 shy of the record.
The designated player, number 14, Alyssa Tully.
Alyssa Tully had a good weekend against Keene State. Triple and a run scored. Breaking ball in the dirt. Tully's moved up into a key spot for the Beacons, up to the 4 spot. Hitting at .304 on the year, no home runs, 11 RBIs. On the ground, foul from Tully. Tully, one of the 3 seniors for the Beacons, along with Vento and Paulina. Been in 2 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Tully bangs this one just foul left of third. Beacons trying to put a big number on the board early. Bases loaded, nobody out, bottom first. 0-2 pitch in the way. Up and out of the zone. Hit hard at third. Well played by Cardenas. Her throw to the plate gets the lead runner, one down. Fielder's choice. Tully reaches. Braga retired at home. Moves the lineup to Kelly Danahy with one down, bottom one. Yeah, we mentioned the pitching issues for Salem State. So they've now had to lean on two position players. Their two main pitchers are Del Vecchio, who's also a first baseman, and Gracie Hogan, who's playing shortstop today. Strike to Danahy to start her off. In fact, neither of those players listed as pitchers on the roster. 0-1 to the sophomore Danahy, who was a first-team all-conference player last year. Danahy hitting .261, 4 doubles, a triple, and 15 runs batted in. In the dirt, skips past the catcher Feinstein. Bonilla scores 1-0. Giovanna Bonilla home on the wild pitch. Roxy Vento to third, and Alyssa Tully to second. So the Beacons strike first, bottom one, leading 1-0. Chance for more. That's wild as well. Vento coming home, and she's in on a second straight wild pitch. 2-0 Beacons. So back-to-back wild pitches from Del Vecchio, who has issued a walk, given up 2 hits, and gotten a fielder's choice. 3-1 to Danahy. Misses low, ball 4. Second walk of the inning. Runners on the corners. Still just one away. 2 runs home for the Beacons, and Ari Bellata bats. The junior Bellata enters hitting at .456 with 14 runs batted in this year. First pitch swinging, hammers it out to left, fairly deep. It's run down by the center fielder Kilgore, who is basically playing in left center. Works as a sacrifice fly to score Tully. Danahy stays at first. And so an RBI for Bellata, her 15th. Beacons lead 3-0. My goodness, that shift was crazy. The center fielder was basically playing left field. The right fielder basically playing center, and the left fielder basically playing on the line. As Kilgore now straightens things up against the slap hitter Kira Pressmack. So playing straight away against Pressmack, a .328 hitter with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Danahy running, she's in safely, no throw. Third baseman Gabriana Cardenas way in. Pressmack fights it off. Pressmack has a home run this year. It was an inside the Parker. Clocked around the base paths in about 12.5 seconds. Ball and a strike pitch. Outside, 2-1. 3 already home for UMass Boston. Another runner in scoring position. Looking to jump on Salem State early here. Bottom one. Pressmack tied up on that off-speed pitch, 1-2. Played near 100th game on Saturday, so here's number 101. That's upstairs. Now they got the runner caught. Danahy between third and second. She gets back into second safely. Delvecchio's pitch upstairs, ball 4. It's her third walk of the opening inning after 9 last time out. So 3-0 Beacons, 2 aboard. Tori DeCenso, who we heard from earlier today in the pregame show, hits. DeCenso out of Lynn, Massachusetts, not all that far away from Salem State. Takes a ball. DeCenso played at St. Mary's Lynn. This season hitting .211 with the 6 RBIs. That is 8 for 38. She's been splitting time at first with Cassidy Gaeta. DeCenso pounds it foul. That overshift in the outfield once again is dramatic with the right-handed hitter up. The left fielder Nolan is almost standing on the foul line. The center fielder Kilgore is in left center field. The right fielder Berkowitz is almost into center. If you hit the ball the opposite way, you could run for days. Instead, this is hit in the air to shallow left center field. Long run. Nolan doesn't get there. Deanna, he scores. Here comes Pressmack. She'll stop at third. It's an RBI double. DeCenso scores. Deanna Heath 4-0. So the Beacons have batted around in the first inning. Taylor Paulina, the 9-hole hitter, hits. Batting at .290 on the season. Paulina was 2 for 4 with a run in the doubleheader for the Beacons against Keene State last time out. First pitch swinging, fouls it back. Beacons done a decent job adjusting to the timing already in this game. 3 hits for UMass Boston plus 3 walks in the first inning. Hit hard at short. Hogan's throw is on the money to end the inning. Beacons send 9 to the plate. They score 4. It's 4-0 after 1. Getting set to go to inning number 2. Beacons already lead 4-0. Here's what's coming up next. And now that Saturday game, remember, is now Friday. It's been changed from Saturday to tomorrow due to the impending rain. So tomorrow against Rhode Island College down on the road, then back here to play Castleton Tuesday. Beacons score 4 in the bottom of the first, so they have staked Jess Greenspan to a big lead. 5, 6, 7, Manusis, Cardenas, and Berkowitz for Salem State. Manusis hitting at .327 on the season. Manusis is a senior, one of 3 straight seniors in the lineup. Out of Lowell, Massachusetts, where she was high school teammates with the Beacons' Alyssa Tully. Both graduated the same year. Greenspan off speed, left it up. 1-1. 3 home runs for Manusos this season. That's 3 of the 4 for Salem State. This is hammered down the line, but foul. 1-2. Greenspan checks her wristband after getting the pitch from Natalia Ardagna. Off speed, nearly got her to go. They'll check, and she did go around. Base umpire Paul Lacasse says she pulled the trigger. Chloe Manuso strikes out. First for Greenspan today, now 2 shy of tying the program record.
The third baseman, number 17, Gabriana Cardenas.
Gabriana Cardenas is next. Senior third baseman takes a called strike. Cardenas out of Oxford, Massachusetts. Oxford High School out in Central Mass. Fouls back out of play. She's down to the count 0-2. She's hitting at .261 on the year. No home runs, 7 RBIs. Greenspan deals. Popped up. Vento gives it a look, and it's out of play. The pitch off speed, poked toward first, takes a weird sideways hop and goes foul. Boy, that had some nasty spin on it. Basically just took a right turn when it hit the dirt. It's headed right to Tori DeCenso, hit the ground, and veered off. Ooh, called the ball just down and in. Again, the strikeout earlier this inning, the 251st for Jess Greenspan. 2 away from tying Michelle Zullo's program record of 253. The pitch bounces off the batter, hit her on the knee. Talia Ardagna saying it didn't seem like she made an effort to get out of the way, but Cardenas is aboard via the hits batsman.
The right fielder, number 12, Gianna Berkowitz.
And the home plate umpire, Sherman Rodding, will head out to talk to Paul Lacasse. And didn't really look like there was much of an effort to get out of the way, but again, that pitch was veering inside, so sometimes when it's that far off the plate, we'll just let it ride. Beacons have won 3 in a row. Salem State has lost 8 straight. So 1 out base runner. And now Gianna Berkowitz bats. Sophomore from Revere, Massachusetts. Pitch rises high for a ball, up and in, 1-0. Berkowitz hitting .246, 6 runs batted in. Salem State trying to cut into a 4-0 deficit. Line drive over short and down in front of Pressmack. It skips by her and all the way to the wall. Cardenas had slid into second. She rises and reaches third. They'll go in the books as a double for Gianna Berkowitz to put runners on second and third. Beg your pardon, it's now been changed single and an error by the official scoring crew. An error on Pressmack and left, allowing the runners to advance to second and third. Courtney Kilgore, the center fielder, takes a called strike. Beacons lead 4-0. Greenspan, who pitched so well against Keene State, trying to avoid a little bump in the road here in the second inning today. Pitch goes wide, 1-1. Hasn't seemed like she's had her best stuff today. She's missed in spots she usually doesn't. Being said, good pitchers like Greenspan can find a way to be pretty darn effective even when they may not be firing on all cylinders. Pitch is taken down low for a ball. It has started to rain here in Boston. Nothing overly dramatic at this point, but enough to send some fans scampering for cover. Greenspan on 2-1, gets a swing and miss. Diving drop ball, it's 2-2. Here's a 2-2. Off speed, on the ground, it's short. Braga fields, throws, out at first. DeCenso back across, out at third. It's a double play. Cardenas scores, but Berkowitz is cut down, and that ends the top of the second. 4-1 UMass Boston after 1.5. We go to the bottom of the second, and just like the bottom of the first, GG Braga will lead things off. Beacon sent 9 to the plate in the first, scoring 4 runs. They'll look to build on a 4-1 lead over Salem State. Rain starting to fall. Natalia Ardagna has the towel, hoping to keep things dry. Both umpires discussing things with Natalia Ardagna. It's Sherman Rotting and Paul Lacasse speaking with the Beacon head coach. All right, whatever that discussion was is over, and we're ready to go. In the first inning, Beacons had 3 hits, and Dominique Del Vecchio walked 3 as UMass Boston pushed 4 across, all earned. Now the 2 club teammates, Braga and Del Vecchio, go at it again. GG showing bunt, takes low. Rain being whipped around by the wind a bit. Braga watches it low, 2-0. Pitch is upstairs for a strike. 2 balls and a strike to Braga. GG walked in her first at bat, ended up being forced out at home on a fielder's choice. Braga takes the drop out of the zone, 3-1. Pitch started diving after she was basically out of the batter's box, just ran out of steam. Now a 3-1 is a strike, and the count runs full. Three-two to Braga. Takes inside. It's her second walk. So leadoff base runner once again. Second inning starts the same way as the first. The Beacons hoping for similar results as well. Giovanna Bonilla singled on a slap just in front of home plate back in the first. Ended up coming around to score. Looking to bunt, comes up empty. Braga swipes second. 13th stolen base this season for GG Braga. That outfield for Salem State is playing so shallow. If Bonilla puts one over the top of the shortstop or second baseman, it could roll for days. 0-1. Lined at the third baseman. It's caught. Braga scampers back. Cardenas pulled it in. One down. Vento will bat. She singled back in the first and scored.
The catcher, number 9, Roxanne Vento.
Vento's hitting her last at bat, her 200, make it her 186th of her career. And here's hit number 187 through the right side. Braga around third. She scores. RBI single for Roxy Vento. She's 2 for 2. And now 10 hits away from the Beacon all-time record. With one away, Alyssa Tully, who reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the first bats for the second time. Tully takes in the dirt. Vento read that well. She advances on the wild pitch. Here's a 1-ball, no-strike pitch. Hit on the ground, foul, 1-1. Delivery from Del Vecchio, high and outside for a ball. Tully on a line, out to left, it's down for a base hit. Vento rounds third and puts on the brakes. Tully on the throw, advances to second. It's a single for Tully, 2 in scoring position, a run already home in the second. UMass Boston up 5-1. Kelly Danahy walked and scored back in the first one of the 4 first-inning Beacon runs. Already added another to lead 5-1. First pitch strike on the outside corner to Danahy. Oh, 1 in the dirt. Danahy's run in her last trip up to the plate was her 17th run scored this season. That's good. Tied for third on the team with Vento. On the ground, slow to the mound. Del Vecchio throws in time to get the out. Runners do not advance. Well played by Dominique Del Vecchio. Vento on third, Tully on second. Ari Bellata, who had a sac fly back in the first inning, bats again. Bellata hit a fly ball to deep left center. Unfortunately for her, that is right where the shift for Salem State has the center fielder Kilgore. One of the craziest, most dramatic overshifts you will see in the outfield. Ball 1 to Bellata. Again, the left fielder Nolan is maybe 5 steps into foul territory. Or fair territory, beg your pardon. The center fielder Kilgore is in left center, and the right fielder Berkowitz in right center. It's in the dirt, well caught by Feinstein. Sliding to her left. If you hit the ball to the opposite way here, you might have an inside-the-park home run. You could go for days. 2-0 is hit that way. 2 right, and nobody's home in right field. Vento scores. Tully scores. It's an RBI double for Ari Bellata, who hit them where they weren't. Seven-1 Beacons. Just the bottom of the second. UMass Boston putting them on as Kira Pressmack bats next. Pressmack looking to bunt, drops it foul. Pressmack walked, ended up being stranded on third back in the first. Pressmack takes high, 1-1. Pressmack over 100 hits in her career, over 100 games played, a career batting average better than 330, 333. Hits this in the air, left field, medium depth, Kilgore underneath it, and there's the third out of the inning, but not before the Beacons add 3 more and build a 7-1 lead after 2. We go to the bottom of the second. The campus of UMass Boston make that the top of the third. Beacons leading 7-1. They scored 4 in the first, 3 in the second. 9-1-2 for Salem State against Jess Greenspan, who's pitched 2 innings today, giving up 1 unearned run. He's allowed 2 hits, hit a batter, struck out 1 to get to 251 strikeouts, 2 away from tying the Beacon record. Off the fist, slow hit to second. Danahy, bare hand throw, got her! Oh, what a play by Kelly Danahy at second base. One out to start the third. Luciana Mastro Matea is next. Mastro Mateo flew out to center back in the first. That's called a ball outside. It's amazing Greenspan setting all of these records. It's easy to forget that she's still only a junior. She's another season left. Plus, we're just getting into the time of year where she's generally at her best. Postseason tournament play, where she's been the workhorse to lead the Beacons to back-to-back Little East Conference tournament championships. One. Mastro Mateo takes low. It's 2-1. Greenspan looking to get into a rhythm here with a big lead, up 6. Beacons trying to make it 4 straight wins. Off speed, hit hard in the air, deep center field. Bonilla on the run, gets there. Giovanna Bonilla has been busy. That's already her 4th putout in center field. 2 outs. Gracie Hogan, the shortstop, bats next. Hogan singled back in the first. Good chance we see her pitching later today. Hogan takes high for a ball. One-0 delivery. Taken off the plate away, 1-1. 2-0. Hogan hitting at .317 in her freshman season. She's out of Northbridge, Massachusetts. With a 2-0 count, bounds it foul. Lost her balance a bit on that swing, came out of her shoes. Two-one. Oh, look at the off speed. It's 2-2. That was nasty. Now she'll try to put Hogan away. Off speed on the ground. Braga charges. Quick throw. Got her again. 1, 2, 3 in the third. Couple of sterling plays in the infield from Danahy and Braga. We go to the bottom of the third. Beacons ahead 7-1. We go to the bottom of the third. UMass Boston scored 4 in the first, 3 in the second. Trying to keep things going. Off to a quick start, leading 7-1 against Salem State. Junior right-hander Dominique Del Vecchio in the circle. She's given up 6 hits, walked 4 over the first 2 innings as the Beacons have stretched their lead. DeCenso clubs it foul and hooks it wide. Boy, Tori DeCenso doubled home a run already today. It's another good piece of hitting. Well, the adjustment Salem State has made in the shift after the double from Bellato, now they've kept Berkowitz further into right, which means there's an enormous gap in center that's now straightening out a bit. Fly ball, shallow center, going to be a long run for everyone involved, and it's down for a base hit. Once again, that's a play where at normal depth would have been an out, but with the shifting defenses, nobody home for Salem State. Leadoff single for DeCenso and the Beacons. Taylor Polina bats next. She grounded out to short in her first at bat. Paulina fouls it off her foot for strike 1. Oh, that stings. Senior out of Woonsocket, Rhode Island. The foul ball off the instep. Comes an 0-1 from Dominique Del Vecchio. Rise ball hit in the air, deep left field, hangs up for Casey Nolan. She's got it. Falling up the ladder there, pops out. 1 down. Del Vecchio looking for a quick inning, with Salem State already trailing by 6. Back to the top of the order in Gigi Braga. She's walked twice today. She's scored a run. She's stolen a base. Braga showing no sign of bunting. Takes strike 1. Now an 0-1 on the way. Braga lays off 1-1. The throw down to second is late. Stolen base for Tori DeCenso, her third of the year. Pitch is upstairs for a ball, 2-1. Junior Braga leads the team in runs scored this year and bunts this perfectly. There is no chance to get her. Infield single for Braga, on for the third straight time. Runners on the corners in the third. Braga has scored 25 runs, now 26 with her run earlier today. An opportunity to make it 27, and if the Beacons push Braga home along with Descenso, they'd already hit that magical 8-run lead. Still just one away, Giovanna Bonilla, 1 for 2 on the day at the dish. Puts it on the ground, right back to the pitcher. They've got the base runner, caught the throw back to third, is in time to get Descenso. So she's out 1-5. Bonilla on the fielder's choice. Braga moves to second. Roxy Vento 2 for 2 today, snapping out of a 2 for 16 slump. With her 2 hits today, Vento now has 187 on her career, 10 shy of the Beacon record. Vento hits this hard at second, takes a tough hop away from Minosis. Everybody's safe. It's an E4 on the second baseman, Minosis. Bases loaded for the Beacons. Boy, that hurts. That was an opportunity for Del Vecchio to put a goose egg on the scoreboard for Salem State. Instead, now they have to get through Alyssa Tully. Fielder's choice and a single for Tully today. She has scored 2 runs. Hammers this to left field, up in the air, and it is tracked in. Oh, what a catch by Casey Nolan, taking away at least 2 runs. So it is a goose egg for Salem State in the scoreboard. We go to the 4th, 7-1. As we move to the 4th inning, we'll take a look at the Little East Conference scoreboard. Conference action today between Rhode Island College and Plymouth State. Tomorrow, the Beacons will play Rhode Island College. That game tied at 1 in the 5th inning. The University of New England and the University of Southern Maine were postponed today in non-conference action. Trinity and Eastern Connecticut State will play tonight. 7-1, UMass Boston leads over Salem State as we move to the 4th. Jess Greenspan's pitched 3 for the Beacons, giving up 2 hits, 1 hits batsman, and 1 run unearned. Three-hole hitter Dominique Del Vecchio, the pitcher for Salem State, leads off the inning and takes low. Del Vecchio flew out to deep center back in the first. Off speed, drops in for a strike. Another beauty from Greenspan. That's how Jess Greenspan does it. Doesn't overpower you, but changes speeds and has good command. In the air, center field, Bonilla charging in. Second baseman Danahy out, and she's got it. Reaching over her shoulder. 1 down, tough play by the second baseman Danahy.
Left fielder number 3, Casey Nolan.
Casey Nolan's also flown out to center today, 0 for 1. Senior .325 hitter. Pitch low to her for a ball. Nolan out of Braintree, Massachusetts. Braintree High School produces a lot of really good athletes. Basketball, softball, baseball, all sports Braintree excels in. Liner at left, straight to Pressmack. Didn't have to move. That's 6 straight now retired by Jess Greenspan, getting into a nice groove with this big lead.
The second baseman number 5, Chloe Menuso.
Chloe Manuso struck out swinging back in the second. 0 for 1 today. Senior from Lowell, Massachusetts, in the same high school class as the Beacons, Alyssa Tully. Off the fist, Manusis' foul pop is strike one. Fell in no man's land there. Nobody could get to it. Here's an 0-1. Lined up the middle. That's a shot and base hit. Third hit of the day for Salem State. Manusos with the single. 2 out base runner as the lineup will move to Gabriana Cardenas. Cardenas was hit by a pitch. She scored Salem State's only run back in the second. Again, offense has not been the issue for Salem State during this 8-game losing streak. They hit .307 as a team. Really struggled defensively. Greenspan starts Cardenas with a strike. Oh, 1 slides outside for a ball. 1-1 to Cardenas with Manusos on first. Chloe Manusos singled with 2 away this inning. Wind still blowing out to left. Game 1 of a doubleheader. Liner foul and hooking further out of play. The 1-2 on the way in the dirt, somehow kept alive. Boy, Cardenas basically took that off of home plate. Strong adjustment for her there to keep that ball in play. Greenspan on 1-2. Swing and a miss. It's her second strikeout. She's 1 away from tying the Beacon record. That ends the 4th. Beacons heading to the bottom of the frame, still leading 7-1. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Beacons looking for at least 2 more to have a chance to wrap this one up early. UMass Boston leads 7-1. Nearly had more. Alyssa Tully had a deep fly ball to left field that was run down by Casey Nolan. Took 2 runs away to end the inning. Kelly Danahy has walked and grounded out. She leads off the 4th. Still a bit of rain here, if anything, a little bit stronger rain than we had earlier in this game. Dominique Del Vecchio, the pitcher, has given up 8 hits, 4 walks over 3 innings. The big key for a scoreless 3rd for her was that she did not give up a walk after walking 3 in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. And on cue, she's thrown 2 straight balls here. (2-0) is out of the zone. It is 3-0 to Danahy. First team all-conference last year at second base. Middle infield, her and Braga, both first team all-conference at second and short. Danahy watches ball 4. 4-pitch walk, her second of this game. Leadoff runner aboard for the 4th consecutive inning for the Beacons. Moves the lineup to Ari Bellata, who is 1 for 1, a double and a sac fly. She has driven in 3 so far today. She was smart in her last at-bat. She saw that overshift and hit it to right, so now they'll play her more straight up this at-bat. Big gaps in left center and right center. Bellata first pitch swinging on the ground. Cardenas to her knee. Her throw's late. Tried to get the lead runner. He scored a fielder's choice. Beacons have 2 on, nobody out in the 4th. It could be a bunting situation for Pressmack. Beacons trying to go up by 8 and then finish things off in the top of the 5th. Pressmack looking to bunt, pulls back and takes ball 1. Pressmack reaches down to flare it foul. One and one to Kira Pressmack. In the air, center field. This is hit well. Kilgore going back, traces it down. Salem State's played good outfield defense today. 1 down. Runners on first and second in the 4th. Tori DeCenso has doubled and singled and driven home a run bats.
The first baseman, number 21, Tori DeCenso.
Pitch from junior Dominique Del Vecchio. DeCenso showing bunt, takes a ball, runners going, throw to third. And boy, big collision. Athletic trainer will come over immediately. That was Hogan, the shortstop, going over to the bases. And had a head-on collision between her and Danahy. Hogan says she's okay. I believe the call was safe due to interference for blocking the base. Umpire put his arm out as if to signify interference, arm out to the left. And I think that's why you are seeing an argument from Alex Campione, the first-year head coach. He's seeing a long explanation. So it is a stolen base for Danahy and a stolen base for Bellata. The best news, though, is that Gracie Hogan's okay. Salem State uses her in the circle. She'll likely pitch in game 2. So 2 on, just 1 out. 2 in scoring position for the Beacons. 1 ball, no strike count to DeCenso, who's already 2 for 2. It's upstairs, ball 1. In the dirt, well blocked by the catcher, Feinstein. Abby Feinstein is the flex, so she does not get a chance to hit, but she's played a solid catcher behind the plate today. Here's the 2-0 to DeCenso. That's also low. Beg your pardon, that was ball 4. So a 3-0 pitch, another walk. Bases loaded for the Beacons in the 4th, only 1 down. 9-hole later, Taylor Paulina looking to join the party today. She is the only Beacon who has yet to reach base. Ground out and a fly out so far. Paulina, first pitch swinging, bangs it foul. She's hit both balls well. Hard grounder to short, and a deep fly ball to left. Oh, 1 from Delvecchio. Line drive left field. That is down for a base hit. Danahy scores. Here comes Bellotta. The throw will not make it home, and the Beacons lead 9-1. 2-run single for Taylor Paulina, and now all 9 Beacons who have started have reached. That includes Gigi Braga, who is 1 for 1, 2 walks and a single. Looks like we'll have a change made for the first time for UMass Boston, a pinch runner. On that last play, by the way, an error called on the center fielder Kilgore after the ball got by her, which allowed the second run to score. So 1 RBI for Paulina. The error allows Bellotta to come home. A pinch hitter, so Braga, who's 1 for 1 with 2 walks today, will come out with the Beacons up by 9. And Jayla Blackman will get a shot at the dish. The freshman Blackman out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Cambridge Ringe in Latin is 2 for 6 on the season with 3 RBIs. We've also got a pitching change as well. So Delvecchio will move over to first base. And we got a new pitcher for Salem State. Michaela Porcaro comes in to pitch. It's the first time Porcaro has pitched all season long for Salem State. So Michaela Porcaro gets a chance to make her debut on the circle. Luciana Mastro Mateo comes out, and Delvecchio goes over to first.
Defensive changes for the Vikings. Now pitching for Salem State.
Porcaro making her debut at the college level in this circle. Freshman from Amesbury, Massachusetts. Porcaro's been a good offensive player this year, 25 hits and 67 at bats. So since she wasn't in the lineup at the start, you wonder if this was the plan, maybe to pitch her at some point today as they continue to look for options in the circle to get out of this slump. Beacons can win the game in the top of the 5th with 3 outs, already leading by 8, and now Jayla Blackman looking for a little bit more insurance. First pitch to Blackman is low. 2 home for the Beacons, only 1 out. Delvecchio goes 3 1/3, gives up the 9 runs. Gave up 9 hits, walked 5. Blackman fouls it away. Blackman also pitches for the Beacons. Blackman has pitched in 7 games this year, tossing 10 2/3 innings. Watches that down and away. Blackman gets into this one high and deep to left. That is on the way and banging off the wall. DeCenso scores. Here comes Paulina. She is in ahead of the throw. It's an RBI double for Blackman, who moves to 3rd on the throw. 5 RBIs now for Jayla Blackman this season, 11-1 Beaks. Giovanna Bonilla will bat next. The Beacons ahead 10. First pitch is low. Porcaro misses high. 2-0. So Porcaro, the fifth different pitcher to throw this year. They've all been position players. It's a ball. Gianna Berkowitz pitched 1 inning. Of course, today Berkowitz is in right field. Gracie Hogan, the shortstop, is the regular second starter, so she'll probably pitch game 2. Dominique Delvecchio, of course, now over at first base. And speaking of Hogan, she's at shortstop. And then Nia Neves, the only other pitcher, has pitched in 7 games this year. She's yet to pitch today. Bonilla watches ball 4. So the inning continues for the Beacons, already up by 10. Just 1 out. Roxy Vento's next. Vento 2 for 3 today. She's singled twice, scored 2 runs, driven in a run, and reached on an error. Blackman will not go on that pitch to the backstop. Bonilla takes second on the wild pitch. Vento hammers this toward the gap. It is pulled in. A tremendous catch by the center fielder. Kilgore will go as a sacrifice fly with Blackman coming home. Vento's second RBI, but it could have been extra bases. That's a great play by Kilgore, continuing the theme of solid outfield defense from Salem State. 12-1 Beacons, a fister from Tully ends the inning. Beacons send 9 to the plate for the second time. They lead by 11 and need 3 outs to end the game as we head to the 5th. We go to the 5th and what could be final inning in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Jess Greenspan trying to wrap it up for the Beacons and tie the UMass Boston record with her 60th career complete game. And at the same time, give Natalia Ardagna her 200th career win. 12-1 Beacons. Made some defensive substitutions. Drew Washington into right. Brittany Perquette into left. Gigi Braga back in at short. And Gianna Salemi plays second base. Again, 3 outs here for Greenspan. She ties Michelle Zullo with 60 career complete games. She has 2 strikeouts today. She's up to 252. 1 away from tying Zullo for the all-time strikeout record. Her first pitch to Gianna Berkowitz is a strike.
Leading off for the Vikings for right fielder number 12, Gianna Berkowitz.
Berkowitz watches that one go wide. Ball and a strike. One from Jess Greenspan. In the air, center field, right at Bonilla. It's Giovanna Bonilla's 5th putout of this game. One down in the fifth. Courtney Kilgore bats next. She grounded out to drive in Salem State's only run back in the second. Kilgore takes inside, ball one. Greenspan slides it wide for a ball. There's 3 straight balls from Greenspan, who is yet to walk a batter today. She did hit a batter, though, back in the second. It's ball 4. Same spot down low. First walk for Greenspan. 1 out base runner for the Vikings.
Designated player, number 19, Sydney Chason.
Sydney Chason grounded out to second back in the third. She watches ball 1 low. Chason, sophomore out of Hudson, Massachusetts. It's out Metro West. Again, one of the rare players not from the North Shore for Salem State. Bunts it down. Greenspan fields. No time to waste. Her throw. Safe. Rule it a base hit. 2 on, just 1 away. 4th hit for Salem State. To the top of the order, first look for Porcaro, the pitcher just into the game, Michaela Porcaro. She's the top hitter this year, though, for Salem State, a .373 batting average and 11 RBIs. First pitch swinging, fouls it back. Salem State needs 4 in this inning to extend the game, trailing 12-1 entering the frame. Pitch slides outside for a ball. Greenspan's gotten 1 out in this inning since a walk and a single. Porcaro takes a called strike on the outside corner. So it's 1-2 to the now leadoff batter with Gracie Hogan waiting on deck. On the off speed, Braga charges, throws to third. It's off the base runner. She was going for the tag. The umpire initially was about to give the out signal, but then Braga threw it to third, and he gave the safe signal. So they'll rule no tag, everybody's safe, and that's an E6. Means the bases are loaded. You know, that's one where I think Gigi Braga's honesty actually gave her away. The umpire was about to say out on the tag. He already had his arm up, but then he realized as she threw it to third, well, she wouldn't throw it here if she'd made the tag, and he changed his call.
The shortstop, number 13, Gracie Hogan.
Bases loaded. Still 12-1 lead for UMass Boston. Gracie Hogan digging in, takes low. Hogan is singled and grounded to short. Hogan on the ground. Another chance for Braga, and she runs into the base runner. That should be interference. It is. That will retire the base runner from second, Chason, for out number 2. And the base runner from third, Kilgore, will have to go back to the base. Mastro advances to second, Hogan to first on the fielder's choice.
The first baseman, number 7, Dominique Delvecchio.
So 2 away, top 5, still 12-1. Dominique Delvecchio bats. Jess Greenspan looking for her 60th career complete game to tie a Beacon record. UMass trying to end it in 5. Greenspan to Delvecchio. That is a ball. Danger of walking in a run here. Call the strike on the inside corner, 3-1. Breaking ball goes in the dirt. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Wind whipping. Rain falling. Greenspan to the dish on 3-1. That's roll the ball. Ball 4. So Greenspan walks Delvecchio. Run comes home. It's 12-2. Fastball misses inside to Casey Nolan, who has flown out and lined out. 1 run home in this inning for Salem State. Vikings still down 10. Swing and a miss. Good pitch from Greenspan, 1-1. One delivery. Greenspan to the outside corner. Got it. Strike 2. Just Greenspan a strike away from ending the game and tying the Beacon all-time record. Here it comes. On the ground. Through the hole left side. Porcaro scores. Hogan stops at third. It's 12-3 as the Vikings are trying to force this game on. Second hit of the inning, 5th of the game for Salem State. Chloe Manusos has struck out and singled today. First pitch swinging, fouls it back. Now those runs for the Beacons, the bottom of the 4th, looming large at this point. UMass Boston scored 5, went ahead 11. They're now ahead 9. Greenspan missed wide, 1-1. In the air, down the line to left. 1 run is home. Again, they'll go station to station. It is 12-4 on the single by Manusos. Didn't want to take the risk and send Delvecchio. And so it comes down to this. If Greenspan gets the out here, the game is over. If not, we will continue on with Gabriana Cardenas batting.
The third baseman, number 17, Gabriana Cardenas.
Off speed, fouled back. Cardenas has been hit by a pitch and struck out. Scored a run back in the second. That was the only Salem State run coming into this inning. They have scored 3 in the frame to make it 12-4. All these runs coming in right now are unearned. Remember, there was the E6 in the inning. Otherwise, we'd already be out of inning number 5. 1-0. Fouled off. One ball, 2 strike count. Greenspan trying to finish it off. Off speed. Just missed. 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 delivery from Greenspan. Down low, count full. So head start all the way around here. A walk would mean we are definitely heading to the bottom of the 5th. Greenspan deals on the ground in front of the plate. Vento steps on the plate, and the ball game's over. Beacons close the door. It's the 200th career win for Natalia Ardagna, and it is the 60th career complete game for Jess Greenspan, which ties Michelle Zullo for the program record. Couple of milestones for the Beacons, and they hang on to win 12-4 in 5. Game 2 coming up in roughly 25 minutes' time. Beacons take Game 1. They've won 4 in a row. Moved to 18-12 in the season. Salem State falls to 11-20. We'll be back with Game 2 in about 25 minutes here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. That's set for Game 2 between UMass Boston and Salem State after the Beacons took Game 1 12-4 in 5 innings. Running through the lineup shortly, but first we're going to get to know a little bit more about another Beacon. Cassidy Gata spent some time with us in our Get to Know a Beacon segment.
Being the first person in my family to go to college is like a major accomplishment because none of my older family members have like been through that experience. So like coming in to college, being the first person in my family too, it's like a whole new experience. I don't have any older siblings or like anyone who's been to college, so it was really difficult for me, but I went to like my teachers and like guidance counselors, and my dad tried to help me the best I could. And it was a longer process than it probably should have been, but overall it became a success. I realized I wanted to play collegiate softball at a very young age. I started playing when I was 6 years old, so probably when I was around like 9 or 10. I like grew up watching girls on TV and stuff, and it really inspired me, and I just wanted to be like them one day. I was really late to committing to UMass Boston. I was conflicted between 2 other schools, but I wanted to be closer to home, and I loved our coach, and all the girls on the team, so I decided that this would probably be the best fit for me. It's amazing. I mean, I have such a great support system, and having my dad like as my best friend, it's amazing because he's always there for me. He gives me the best advice he can, and like my cousins and stuff, like me being the older role model and stuff, it's just a great feeling.
Ready to rumble for game number 2? UMass Boston sends out freshman Haley Catania out of Amesbury, Massachusetts, Amesbury High School. This is her 13th start, her 15th game overall. She is 5-5 with a 3.71 ERA, 77 and a third innings pitched, 96 hits, 26 walks, 33 strikeouts. Always helps when you can't read your own handwriting in between games 1 and game 2. Lineup she'll face for Salem State looks like this. Luciana Mastro Mateo is designated player leading off. Gracie Hogan pitches, bats second. Dominique Del Vecchio, the first baseman, hits third. Casey Nolan in left field, bats fourth. Chloe Manusis in the 5 spot plays second. Michaela Porcaro, the third baseman, bats sixth. Gianna Berkowitz, right fielder, bats seventh. Courtney Kilgore, the center fielder, in the 8th spot. And Cindy Chason bats ninth. She'll be the shortstop in game 2 with Hogan in the circle. For the Beacons today, Gigi Braga leads off, plays short. Giovanna Bonilla, center fielder, bats second. Roxy Vento, the catcher, bats third. It's Ari Bellata back on the cleanup spot, playing third base. Kelly Danahy hits 5th, plays second. Jayla Blackman will be the designated player after blasting one off the wall in a pinch hit roll last game. Tori DeCenso is the first baseman. She's batting 7th. Drew Washington plays left field, bats 8th. And Taylor Paulino in right field, bats 9th. Luciana Mastro Mateo, the leadoff batter. First pitch from Catania, skips down for a ball. Catania finished off the second game of the doubleheader against Keene State, picking up the save. Pitching the final inning and 2/3. Pitch is low for a ball. Beacons won 12-4 over Salem State, but if possible, the Vikings were able to take a little bit of momentum out of the end of that game. They scored 3 in the bottom of inning number 5, nearly extending the game. There's a strike from Catania. Rare college softball doubleheader where you have 2 pitchers who have pitched in the doubleheader, both from Amesbury High School. Ground ball to Danahy, and Mastro Mateo is retired 4-3. We saw Michaela Porcaro finish off the game in the circle for Salem State. She was high school teammates with Haley Catania at Amesbury High. Gracie Hogan, who will pitch game 2, bats next. First-year player from Northbridge, Massachusetts. Hogan fouls it back for a strike. Hogan entered today hitting at .317 on the year with 11 runs batted in. Off speed, cut on and miss. Good pitch from Catania. Beacons looking to win a 5th consecutive game, and in the process hand Salem State a 10th straight loss. Swing and a miss. Catania has her first strikeout. Salem State has fallen to 11-20 on the year with that Game 1 loss. The Beacons are now 18-12. Now, she didn't need the defense there, but the defense behind Haley Catania. Roxy Vento, the catcher. DeCenso at first. Danahy at second. Braga at short. And Bellata at third. Washington in left. It's Bonilla in center and Paulina in right. There is Ari Bellata, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the first for the Beacons. We go to the bottom of the first, and for the first time today, we'll see freshman pitcher Gracie Hogan in the circle. 15 appearances, 12 starts for Hogan. She's 3-8 with a 5.13 ERA. She's pitched 45 innings, giving up 88 hits, walked 10, struck out 8, so definitely pitches to contact. For the Beacons, the starting lineup, Gigi Braga at short, Giovanna Bonilla in center, Roxy Vento, the catcher. That's Ari Bellata at third, Kelly Danahy at second, Jayla Blackman is the DP. Tori DeCenso plays first base, Drew Washington left field, and Taylor Polina rounds out the batting order playing right. Braga in Game 1 drew 2 walks and singled in her 3 plate appearances. She scored 2 runs. "1-0 is low, 2-0. Umpires have flip-flopped, so Paula Cass is behind home plate, and Sherman Routing has moved to the base paths. There's a called strike, 2-1. Book on Hogan. She should throw a lot of strikes. Only 10 walks in 45 innings. But she's down in the count 3-1 to start the game. "3-1, missed high." So it's the 11th walk of the season for Gracie Hogan. It starts the game. 3rd walk drawn today by Gigi Braga, who is a phenomenal leadoff batter. With her 3 walks today, Braga has now walked 17 times this year for an on-base percentage well above 400. Giovanna Bonilla had a single and a run in Game 1. Braga running, and she's successfully stolen a base for the 2nd time today. That is Gigi Braga's 14th steal this year. Beacons trying to pick up where they left off in Game 1, scoring 12 runs in just 4 plate appearances for UMass Boston. Huge lead for Braga. She'll go back after the called strike. On the ground, slow to third. This should do it for Bonilla. Porcaro's throw, not in time. Giovanna Bonilla digs it out. It's an infield single. All you got to do when you have her wheels is slap it down on the ground, and the odds are you'll be safe. Roxy Vento is next, the catcher. 2 for 3 in Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Looking to bunt. She takes back for a strike, and Bonilla is into second. 2 stolen bases already for the Beacons in this inning, 2 in scoring position, nobody out. With 2 hits, Vento moved to just 10 out of the all-time record at UMass Boston. There's a lot of games left to etch herself atop the record book in another category. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Vento lays off. Hogan's balls have that downward motion at the end as they're running out of steam, so you have to be patient. They dip away. It's almost like a sinker. 2-1 is high. 3-1 to Vento with Ari Bellata waiting on deck. Walking a single to start the game. Vento fouls it off. 3-2. Full count pitch. Vento watches ball 4. So again, Gracie Hogan had only walked 10 batters all year in 45 innings. She's walked 2 of the first 3 she's faced. Bases loaded for the Beacons after scoring 12 in Game 1.
The third baseman, number 13, Ari Bellata.
Good opportunity here for Ari Bellata, who doubled home a couple runs in Game 1. She takes first pitch strike. Bellata up to 28 hits this season in 60 at-bats. Close to 500. On the ground, hard at short. Throw coming home from Chase on it. Gets past the catcher, Cordera. Now here comes Bellata, and they've both scored. So Braga and Bonilla score. 2-0 Beacons. Vento to third. Bellata to second. That'll go down as a fielder's choice and an error. Question is it an E6 or an E2? And it'll be an E6, error on the throw from Chason. Looks like the Beacons will already make a change. This was Kelly Danahy's spot in the order, but with 2 runs already home, Beacons will go to the bench. Pinch hitting in Danahy's spot.
Number 1, Gigi Diuti.
Gigi Diuti bats down to bunt, drops it down. Perfect bunt. Hogan's throw is wide of first. Vento scores. Bellata stopped. Now she comes, puts the brakes on. She's in between. Diuti goes home, and Bellata scores. Wow. So Roxy Vento and Ari Bellata come home. It's 4-0. See how that's scored. So an E1 for Diuti to reach. She will get the RBI, though, because Vento would have scored regardless. And that error also leads to the second run coming home. Diuti on to second base. So productive performance for Diuti. 4-0, still nobody out. And Jayla Blackman bats. Blackman now 3 for 7 on the season. Doubled off the wall to drive home 2 in a pinch hit appearance last game. So she's now had 7 at-bats, but 5 RBIs. That's making the most of her opportunities. It's a strike up at the letters. 1-1 to Blackman. So a walk, a single, a walk, a fielder's choice, and an error. Nobody out yet for the Beacons. 4 already home. Bounded foul. 2 errors already for Salem State in the inning. And it's the nightmare start the Vikings were looking to avoid. Beacons took game 1, 12-4. Blackman in the air to center. Should be playable for Kilgore. Still coming in. Puts it away. So there's out number 1 in the bottom of the first. 4 runs already home, and Tori DeCenso will bat. DeCenso was on base all 3 times in Game 1, earning herself the Game 2 start. She doubled, singled, and walked, scored a run, and drove in a run. Ball 1 to DeCenso. Sophomore out of Lynn, in the air, deep left field. Nolan going back, still moving. That ball bangs off the wall and stays in play. DeUdi comes home. DeCenso to third. The left fielder is down. And DeCenso will just come on home.
A home run for UMass Boston's Tori DeCenso. For DeCenso, that is home run number 1 of the season.
It's a home run for Tori DeCenso. Her first of the year. That actually made it over the wall. We weren't sure. We thought maybe that had stayed in the wall, but it's being dug out from the other side of the fence. Left fielder ran into the fence. Nolan trying to bring it back in. Tori DeCenso's first home run of the season puts the Beacons ahead 6-0 in the first. So it's a 6-0 lead for the Beacons on DeCenso's homer. The left fielder, Nolan, appears to be okay, so she'll stay in the game out there after trying to track that ball down and hitting the fence. Six runs with only 1 out for the Beacons in the first, after scoring 4 in the first in Game 1 today. So to the 8-hole in Drew Washington. First at bat today for Washington. It was a defensive replacement at the end of Game 1. This is her 4th start of the year. She's 1 for 11 on the season. Washington's a sophomore out of Bordentown, New Jersey. Fouls it off. Rise ball is high. Gracie Hogan trying to get through this first inning. Washington is down swinging. Strikeout number 9 on the season for Gracie Hogan, her first today. Beacons send up the 9-hole hitter Taylor Paulina, who drove in 2 runs with a base hit in a 1-for-3 Game 1.
The right fielder, number 15, Taylor Paulina.
Hogan delivers. Strike on the outside corner. Paulina, one of 3 Beacon seniors. So get a chance to play as close to home as she does all year when they head to Rhode Island College tomorrow. On the ground at short. Chason, a throw low and dug out. Well done by Del Vecchio to end the inning. For the 3rd time in the doubleheader, the Beacons send 9 to the plate. We go to the second, 6-0. We go to the second, 6-0 UMass Boston after 6 runs in the bottom of the first, capped by a 2-run home run from Tori DeCenso. Lots of run support for Haley Catania as the Beacons look to sweep the doubleheader, win 5 in a row, and go to 19-12 on the season. Salem State went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first, so cleanup batter Casey Nolan leads off against Catania. In that first inning, Catania got 2 groundouts and a strikeout. First pitch, strike from Catania, bringing it in with some heat. Oh, 1, fisted foul, 0-2. Nolan entering today, hitting at .325 on the year. Again, this is a Salem State team that can hit. They hit .307 as a team coming in today. Fouled back to the screen again. Another 0-2. In the air, deep center field. That's crushed. Bonilla going back, and she runs it down once more. She is so rangy in center and has been very busy today. That was well struck by Nolan, but it's allowed out. Chloe Manusos is next. Manusos, a .327 hitter with 3 home runs this year. Lays off first pitch, ball. Hit hard at third and gloved. Ari Bellata with the quick reflexes, 2 down. Go ball's been hit well in this inning, but defense by Catania on point. Now we get a matchup of 2 high school teammates. Both graduated last year from Amesbury High School, Catania and Michaela Porcaro. Porcaro hits it hard center field, tailing away from Bonilla, who dives and can't make the play. Porcaro puts it into the gap. It's a 2-out double. Boy, Bonilla almost made another phenomenal play out there.
Right fielder number 12, Gianna Berkowitz.
Discussion ongoing between our home plate umpire in Game 2, Paul Lacasse, and the head coach, Alex Campione. And he's now sending her out to talk to Porcaro. Maybe it was a wristband or a watch. Had to come off. Runner on second, 2 down, top 2. UMass Boston leading 6-0. Salem State trying to find a run. Gianna Berkowitz bats in the 7-hole. Takes ball 1 from Catania. Fastball splits the plate in half. Good spot. It's a strike. Catania's got some get up and go on her fastball today. It's moving. Rise ball, swing and a miss. Up the ladder on Berkowitz, 1-2. One, 2. Fouled off. Stays at 1-2. Haley Catania, windmill, pitch, got her swinging. Another rise ball, and we're through 1.5, 6-0 UMass Boston. To the bottom of the second we go. UMass Boston ahead 6-0 in Game 2 after an 8-run rule 12-4 win over Salem State in Game 1. Won that game in 4.5. Trying to do the same here, up 6-0. Gigi Braga leads off the second in both Game 1 and Game 2. The Beacons sent 9 to the plate in the first inning. They scored 4 in the first in Game 1, 6 in the first in Game 2. Braga ahead in the count 2-0. Today, Gigi has singled once, walked 3 times, and scored 3 runs. Has not yet been out today. Gracie Hogan deals a strike, 2-1. Now 2-2. Outside 3-1. Gigi's been patient all day long. Picking up walks 15, 16, and 17 on the season. And there is her 18th of the year. Her team leading 18th walk and 4th today. See if she's stealing bases again. She's stolen 2 today. Gracie Hogan had only walked 10 batters in 45 innings. She has walked 3 in 1+ today. Giovanna Bonilla next to bat, singled back in inning 1 on a ground ball to third. Came home to score. Beacon order's so well built. You got the speed at the top with Braga and Bonilla, power in the middle, starting with Vento, and some good hitters at the bottom as well. That'll move the base runner ahead. Braga takes second on the ground out 4-3 to Manusos. Bonilla's down, 1 away. Roxy Vento walked and scored in the first. She's been busy today. A couple of hits in Game 1. That's a called strike. Vento, the senior out of Arlington. Awaits no one. Hits it on the ground, right side. First baseman Del Vecchio touches the bag for the second out. Chance for Gracie Hogan to get through this inning relatively quickly if she can get Ari Bellata. With 2 outs, Bellata bats, reached on a fielder's choice and scored back in the first. Bellata takes high for ball 1. Ari out of Leominster, Massachusetts. School that has a great high school sports program. On the ground, foul left of third. Came in on the hands of it, and Ari Bellata is shaking her hands off after the foul ball. Barrels this up, hooking, foul. And it is out of play, about 7 or 8 feet left of the line. One ball, 2 strike pitch coming to Bellata. Goes down to get it, serves it to right. Long run for the right fielder, and Burwitz can't get there. It's a base hit for Bellata. Good 2-strike hitting. Scores Gigi Braga. That's Gigi's 4th run today. Beacons lead 7-0.
The second baseman, number 1, Gigi Diuti.
Gigi Diuti, who came in as a replacement in the bottom of the first for Kelly Danahy, takes a called strike. Diuti bunted, reached on an error, scored. Pitch inside for a ball, throw down, and Bellata is safe with the steal. The chant from the Beacon dugout right now is little Gigi. Not that big Gigi is all that much taller than her. I guess a couple of years older. Diuti takes low. Diuti looking for her first hit. She is 0 for 2, playing in 9 games this year. Takes the rise ball high. Three ball, 1 strike count to Diuti. And that's low, ball 4. So Diuti walks. She's been productive today. She's on first, Bellotta on second, already 7-0 UMass Boston, and Jayla Blackman will bat. Blackman flew out to center back in the first. Remember, pinch hitting in game 1. She hit it off the wall in left center. Blackman takes down low for a ball. Blackman played at Cambridge Ringe in Latin just across the river. Lays off the rise ball upstairs. 2-0. Blackman takes below the knees. So it's 3-0 to Blackman. Hogan in danger of issuing her 4th walk today. There's strike knee high, 3-1. Already 7-0 Beacons looking to sweep the doubleheader. They won game 1, 12-4. That hits Blackman right off the inside of the leg. Bases loaded for the Beacons. The accuracy, which generally is there for Hogan, just hasn't been today. Umpires coming together. Sherman Rodding, the base umpire, and Paul Lacoste, the home plate umpire.
The first baseman, number 21, Tori DeCenso.
Tori DeCenso bats. 2-run homer in her first at bat. Hammers this at third straight to Porcaro, makes the hot shot snag. Beacons get 1, leave them loaded. We head to inning 3, 7-0 UMass Boston. All right, we move to the top of the third, 7-0 UMass Boston. Defensive change for the Beacons. Drew Washington will move to right field. Taylor Paulina out of the game, and in comes Sarah Harlinski, who will go to left. 7-0 Beacons. We play the top of the third, game 2 of a doubleheader. UMass Boston won game 1 at 12-4 over Salem State.
Defensive changes for UMass Boston. Now into the game, playing left field, number 19, Sarah Harlinski, and moving to right field, number 10, Drew Washington.
Haley Catania's allowed just 1 base runner through the first 2 innings, a double with 2 outs in the second by Michaela Picaro. 8-hole hitter Courtney Kilgore leads off, hitting 156 on the year. First pitch to Kilgore, fastball at the knees, strike one. Oh, 1 pitch. Inside corner, strike 0-2. The 0-2 delivery is fouled back off the screen, stays 0-2. Freshman Haley Catania's pitch. Hit on the ground hard at first. DeCenzo snags it. Web gem from Tori DeCenzo over at first, one down. Beacon defense has been great behind Catania today, and she keeps rewarding them by throwing strikes. Sydney Chason is next. 9-hole hitter in both games. There's the DP in game 1, the shortstop in game 2. Ball 1 is high. Chason hitting at .352 on the season with 11 runs batted in. Kind of serves as a second leadoff in that 9 spot and does a nice job serving that to left. It's a base hit for Chason past the outstretched arms of Gigi Braga. Second hit in game 2 for Salem State. That'll turn the lineup over to Luciana Mastro-Mateo. Mastro-Mateo out of Peabody, Massachusetts. Right at the end of Route 1. Swing and a miss for Mastro-Mateo. Grounded out to second back in the first. Second base originally occupied by Danahy. Now it's Diuti playing second for the Beacons. 1-1. Here's a 1-1 from Catania. In the air to second. Diuti. 2 down. With 2 away, it's up to the pitcher Gracie Hogan, who struck out swinging back in the first. Fastball swung on and missed. Vento snaps it back to first late.
The pitcher, number 13, Gracie Hogan.
Salem State out of the MASCAC. Lost 9 in a row. If they're swept here today, that'll be 5 straight doubleheader sweeps. Coming in the 8-game losing streak, they'd been outscored 61-20. So add the 12-4 from game 1. It's now 73-24 over a 9-game losing streak. Catania's pitch. Fisted foul. No ball, 2 strike count to 2-hole hitter Gracie Hogan. Top 3, Salem State down 7-0. On the ground to Catania, and she breezes through another inning. She's dealing. We're through 2.5. Beacons lead 7-0. All right, we're sorting out some defensive changes here. It looks like no matter what, and when they get it sorted out, Dominique Del Vecchio pitched in game 1, come back in to pitch game 2 after Gracie Hogan pitched 2 innings, gave up the 7 runs. Beacons hit her well. She also walked 5. So Del Vecchio in. It also looks like Luciana Mastro Mateo has moved from DP over to first base. So Mastro Mateo over at first. And we'll get everything else sorted out here.
Yep. And those are the only 2 changes? Thank you.
Eileen, move the camera. You're good.
Don't
You're
worry
good.
about it. She's the shortstop, and that means the shortstop is the DP.
All right, the first pitch from Del Vecchio is hammered. Drew Washington crushes it in for a base hit. Washington's first hit today. One more change. Chase Son has become the DP just like last game at short, and Gracie Hogan has gone to shortstop. So Cardena behind the plate, Del Vecchio pitching, Mastro Mateo at first, second base, Manusos, Hogan at short, Porcaro at third, Nolan in left, Kilgore in center, Berkowitz in right. Hope you're taking notes at home and you've got that. First at bat today for Sarah Harlinski, who entered last game as a defensive replacement. Harlinski is 8 for 38 this season. And she watches that one go low. Harlinski, a freshman out of Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and Tantasqua Regional High School. Watches that go low. Del Vecchio in game 1 was responsible for 9 of the 12 runs the Beacons scored. That's called strike. Counts full. Washington on first. Harlinski at the dish, nobody out in the third. The Beacons already ahead 7-0. On the ground, slow to the mound. Del Vecchio flips to first in time for the out. Washington takes second. Be another change for the Beacons. I see Pena will take over for Gigi Braga. Pena also plays some short for the Beacons, so she'll likely stay in the game. Looking for her first collegiate hit. She is 0 for her first 8. She has walked 3 times and struck out 5.
Pinch hitting for the Beacons, number 26, Hasey Pena.
So Hasey Pena looking for her first collegiate hit. Awaits Del Vecchio. Pena hammers this to right center, and she has her first career hit. It's into the gap. Pena to second with a double. Washington scores. Pena still trucking. She's into third. It's an RBI triple for Hasey Pena. Her first collegiate hit.
The center fielder, number 5, Giovanna Bonilla.
So it's 8-0 Beacons, bottom 3, and Giovanna Bonilla bats next. Del Vecchio misses low. Just 1 out in the inning. Again, Beacons need to get through 4.5, up by 8 or more to sweep game 2, sweep the doubleheader, and win them both in 4.5. Bonilla takes a strike. If the Beacons learned anything from game 1, it's that those insurance runs were important. They were up 12-1 heading to the top of the 5th. Allowed 3 and hung on there. Bonilla flares it left field, down for a single. Pena scores. Giovanna Bonilla will head to second after an errant throw and keep on moving to third. Bonilla stands there. It's a single, an RBI, and an error on the left fielder to allow Bonilla to take third. More changes coming for the Beacons. Cassidy Gaeta will step in for Roxy Vento. So 9-0 Beacons. Gaeta bats for Vento, who walked and grounded out in game 2. Gaeta hitting at 192 on the year, 10 for 52 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. Sophomore out of North Reading, Massachusetts, had a very good freshman year. In her freshman season, big power threat, regular player at first, just trying to break out of that sophomore slump.
Pinch hitting for the Vikings, number 22, Cassidy Gaeta.
That's strike on the inside corner. First at bat today for Gaeta. We got to learn a little bit more about her in our Beacon Spotlight before the game today. Up and in for a ball.
We got ice, Cass. We got ice.
Still only one out in the inning. Gaeta off the fist. That'll make it through. An RBI single. Gaeta's 10th RBI of the year. Bonilla scores. 10-0 Beaks. And it looks like we'll have another change, or at least a meeting on the mound. It's just going to be a conversation between Del Vecchio and Campione, the first-year head coach. A couple of bad breaks for Del Vecchio, a fister and a flare. And she'll keep on rolling. Beacons took game 1, 12-4. The back-to-back Little East Conference Tournament champions lead 10-0 here in the bottom of the third.
The third baseman, number 13, Ari Bellata.
Ari Bellata's next. Swings through that high fastball from Del Vecchio. RBI single last at bat for Bellata. Also reached on a fielder's choice. In the air, left field and deep. That's got carry on it. Nolan going back. She watches it bang off the wall. Gated to third. She'll stop there. Bellata doubles. The Beacons keep on churning. 4 straight hits and 5 in the inning for UMass Boston. Third plate appearance for Gigi Diuti, who reached on an error and scored in the first, walked in the second. Diuti looking for her first collegiate hit. Just saw Casey Pena pick up her first college hit. Diuti watches it go high, 2-0. Fouled back to the screen, 2-1. Beacons will go down to Providence, play Rhode Island College tomorrow, 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. on the road. And then it's a busy week next week for UMass Boston. Castleton and Southern Maine, followed by a non-conference game against Babson. Chopper foul. So Tuesday, Thursday action for the Beacons. And Babson wrapping up the regular season before UMass Boston will start the Little East Tournament on May 2nd. Del Vecchio high. Lady walked in her last at bat. Pitch coming to her is low, and that's ball 4. Here comes Gata. She scores on the wild pitch. Cassidy Gata makes it 11-0. Runners still moving. Diuti goes down to second. So Bellotta to third, Diuti to second after the walk. $11-0 UMass Boston. 4 runs in this inning, 6 in the first, 1 in the second. Blackman has flown out and been hit by a pitch in game 2. She takes high from Del Vecchio. Back-to-back balls. Tuvaldo strike pitch is a strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Blackman hammered one off the wall in game 1. We can do the same here. Gets into it, high and deep to center. That ball is carrying, it has legs on it, and it bangs off the wall again. Second ball off the wall for Blackman. Bellotta scores. RBI double, 12-0. 6 straight of reach for the Beacons. 6 hits and a walk in this inning.
The first baseman, number 21, Tori DeCenso.
Tori DeCenso has homered and lined out a rocket shot in her last at bat to third. Crushes this again. Tori DeCenso has left the yard for the second time today.
Second home run of the day and second home run of the season for number 21, Tori DeCenso.
Boy, that was a moonshot from DeCenso. She is hammering the ball today. 4 hits, 3 for extra bases. Two home runs. This one, the 3-run dinger. 15-0 Beacons. And Del Vecchio just keep on churning, trying to eat up these innings and get Salem State through it. Beacons have sent 9 to the plate this inning. 8 have scored. Washington, a hammer shot to Piccaro at third. High throw. And the play is made. Mastro Mateo comes down on the bag. Washington retired 5-3. Again, 10 have now hit for the Beacons in the inning. They lead 15-0.
The left fielder, number 19, Sarah Harlinsky.
Sarah Harlinsky grounded out to the mound back in the third. Wants to avoid making 2 of the 3 outs in the inning. Harlinsky takes high. Skips in. 2-ball, no strike count. How about the day for Tori DeCenso? 2 home runs in game 2 with 5 RBIs. In game 1, she had a double, a single, a walk, scored a run, and had an RBI. So 6 RBIs overall today, 3 runs scored, 4 hits. Harlinsky flares it. That is down for a base hit. A single from Sarah Harlinsky. The Beacons have put 9 on base this inning. The 7th hit of the inning for UMass Boston. And Michaela Piccaro will come back into pitch. She finished off last game as well. So pitching change, Piccaro in. After Del Vecchio pitches 2/3 of an inning, gives up 7 hits, a walk, a hits batsman She's allowed 8 runs in the inning. They are all earned. 15-0 Beacons. So Picaro to the mound. Hogan moves over to third. The shortstop is chasing once again. She goes from DP to shortstop. I think Mastro Mateo will come back to be DP. And Del Vecchio returned to first. Yep, Del Vecchio makes her way over to first base now. So back to basically the lineup we started with, except for Hogan at third, Picaro in the circle. Those two flip-flopped. Hasty Pena will bat for the second time. Now she's got the monkey off her back. Her first collegiate hit. A run-scoring triple back in the third. Take a look at the Little East Conference scoreboard. Plymouth State took Game 1 over Rhode Island College 2-1. They lead Game 2 4-0. And rain postponed Southern Maine and the University of New England. That would have been an all-Maine battle. Biddeford versus Gorham. And in Connecticut, Game 1 has Trinity up 5-3 over Eastern Connecticut State. That game in the 5th inning. And so that confirms what we thought for the changes. And ready to go with Porcaro, who made her pitching debut on the season and her college pitching debut back in Game 1. So how about this? In this game now, the two pitchers on both sides were both seniors at Amesbury High School last year. High school teammates, now they're both pitching in this game.
The shortstop, number 26, Hasty Pena.
Pena tripled in her last at-bat earlier this inning. Takes a rise ball high for ball 1. Hasty Pena from the Dominican Republic went to high school in Providence, Rhode Island at Providence Career and Technical Academy. Runner going. Pena takes a ball. And it looks like runner moved early. So Harlinski took up early, and that ends the inning. So it puts it to bed at the end of the third. We go to the fourth. Beacons ahead, 15-0. All right, changes galore for UMass Boston. We'll bring them to you now. All right, let's start in order from down the order. In the 2 spot, Giovanna Bonilla is out. Brittany Perquette comes into the game. She'll go to left field, and Sarah Harlinski will move from left to center. In the 3 spot, Ali Diuti enters the game at catcher, taking the place of Cassidy Gaeta and Roxy Vento. In the 4 spot,
Number 7, Dominique Del Vecchio.
Kaylee Ruggiero is now in at third base in that 4 spot. The DP was Jayla Blackman. She now plays first base. Tori DeCenso has become the DP. So those are the changes. Haley Catania still on the mound. Beacons need 6 more outs to end this game, leading 15-0. Dominique Del Vecchio lead off the inning. As the book is now set. Del Vecchio grounded out back in the first. And Catania delivers a strike. Got to give the Salem State dugout credit. They've had a lot of energy today, even when the game have been slanted pretty dramatically against them. Grounder foul, 0-2 to Del Vecchio. To Del Vecchio on the ground at third past Ruggiero. It's a base hit. Dominique Del Vecchio singles. Third hit of the game for Salem State, down 15-0. One down, Casey Nolan will bat. She flew out to center back in the second. Deep center field, it was run down by Bellotta. Catania fires in a strike. For the Beacons, 6 in the first, 1 in the second, 8 in the third. Off the fist, popped, foul, and out of play. It's no ball, 2 strike count. Here's the pitch. Popped up, foul territory. Blackman giving it a look, so is Diuti, and it gets down off the dugout and out of play. Pitch from Catania. Rise ball fouled off. Here comes. In the air, right field slicing, and foul. Count remains 0-2. Nolan's fought off a couple of 2-strike pitches. And she saunters off another one. On the ground, hard at Pena. Goes to second for the lead runner. Hasty Pena fields that well, a fielder's choice. Del Vecchio retired, Nolan reaches.
The second baseman, number 5, Chloe Manusas.
Chloe Manusas spats next. She lined out to third back in the second inning. Rise ball, Catania got her swinging, strike one. This skitters into the dirt, 1-1. In the air, very shallow center. Pena going out. In comes Harlinski, 2 down. She'll snap it back to first. And nearly got Nolan.
Number 4, Michaela Porcaro.
So for the second time today, these two high school teammates go head-to-head. Porcaro doubled into left center in the first at-bat. Up and in, gets away from Diode, and down to second. On the wild pitch goes Nolan. One ball, no strike to Porcaro. That's a strike. Catania's allowed just 3 hits over 3 2/3. Down in the count here, 2-1. Big swing. Porcaro comes up empty, 2-2. Haley Catania looking to make it through 4 innings unscathed. Need just 3 more outs to wrap this one up. This is hammered again. Same spot as the last one. Harlinski won't get there. Salem State on the board. Porcaro has her second double to the same spot. Oh, she's hitting the heck out of the ball today. 15-1 with 2 down. Well, Beacons may have the upper end of the scoreboard, but Porcaro is going to have something fun to hold over her high school teammate the next time they get together. 2 for 2 with a pair of doubles to the gap. Gianna Berkowitz on the ground to second. Diuti, easy glove and field. That's it for the inning. Go to the bottom of the 4th, 15-1, UMass Boston. We go to the bottom of the 4th. UMass Boston ahead 15-1, needing just 3 more outs to wrap this one up. Top of the order right now for the Beacons as we start the 4th. They sent 11 to the plate last inning. Hasey Pena have her second at-bat of the day. She tripled for her first collegiate hit in her first at-bat. She faces Michaela Porcaro, who entered to get the final out last inning. That is way up out of the zone for a ball. 2-0 count. Pena's dad played in the big leagues. Her brother currently playing pro baseball. O from Porcaro is also high, 3-0. Porcaro missed low. Ball 4, 4-pitch walk to start the fourth. Brittany Burkett will bat next. Her first at bat today. She's entered both games as defensive substitution. 4 for 20 today on the season, and she takes high, ball 1. Burkett, freshman from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, out west. Fouls it back, 1-1. Burkett pops it up towards short and over the top of the shortstop. And they get her on the fielder's choice. Wow, well played by the shortstop, Chason. So Pena retired. She had to freeze and see whether that ball would be caught. Burkett on the fielder's choice. 1 down. Ali Diuti bats for the first time today. Takes high. Diuti is 3 for 15 in her freshman season. She and her sister both played at Braintree High School. Called a strike, 1-1. Diuti, big swing, comes up empty, 1-2. One-two delivery. Rises for a ball, 2-2. Two-two pitch. Misses wide, ball 3. Popped up in the infield. Shortstop Chason takes it 2 down. You know, the best thing Salem State might be able to take out of this doubleheader is Michaela Porcaro in the circle. She hadn't pitched all year. She's been the most effective pitcher so far today for Salem State. Kaylee Ruggiero has her first turn at the dish, 5 for 24 this season. First pitch is a strike. Ruggiero out of Southbury, Connecticut, Pomperaug Regional High School. One and one. Burkett pops it up, foul territory. And that is off the Beacon dugout, 1-2. Porcaro up high for a ball. Now the windmill in 2-2, way up and away. That wild pitch allows Burkett to move down to second. Still 15-1. That's ball 4. Burkett walks. So 2 on for Gigi Diuti.
The second baseman, number 1, Gigi Diuti.
Diuti has walked twice and reached on a bunt error in her 3 at-bats. She scored twice. Diuti watches that rise high. She's played second since the second inning, replacing Danahy. Slashes that foul. It's been the fun part in game 2 for the Beacons. They've been able to get so many of their depth players into this game. It's up high. Two ball, 2 strike count to Diuti. Ficaro's pitch also misses 3-2. Full count pitch. Popped third base and grabbed. Gracie Hogan pulls it in. That ends the inning and moves us to the top of the 5th, where the Beacons need 3 outs to wrap it up, leading 15-1. We go to the top of inning 5. UMass Boston looking to sweep a doubleheader with Salem State and do it in the minimum number of innings, 4.5 innings in each game. They won game 1, 12-4. They lead game 2, 15-1. Haley Catania trying to finish off a 5-inning complete game. She'll face 8-9-1. First pitch, Casey Kilgore chops it foul. Courtney Kilgore, the center fielder, grounded out to first in her first at-bat today. Kilgore takes a called ball low. Kilgore fouls it back. 1-2. In the air to right field, slicing, foul. Stays 1-2, nobody down in the 5th. Complete game in game 1 from Jess Greenspan. Haley Catania looking to do the job in game 2. Remember, Beacons back in action tomorrow in conference play at Rhode Island College. Salem State plays in conference tomorrow against Fitchburg State. Kilgore on the ground right side. Diuti stays with the hop, 1 down.
Number 19, Sydney Chason.
Brings up the shortstop, Sydney Chason, who singled one of the 3 hits against Catania today. There's a strike on the outside corner. Freshman Haley Catania closing in on her 6th complete game in her 13th start. She's up in the count 0-2 on Chason. Just off the plate, 1-2. One, two. On the ground at third. The throw across from Ruggiero's on the money. 2 away.
Number 8, Luciana Mastro Mateo.
To the top of the order in Luciana Mastro Mateo, who's grounded out to second and popped out to second. Swings over the top of that drop ball, strike one. Oh, an offering popped up, foul and out of play. Beacons a strike away from wrapping up the doubleheader. 6 in the first and 8 in the third. The big outburst for the Beacons to build this 15-1 lead. Pop foul. 12-4 win in game one, a 15-1 lead, and out away from wrapping up game two. Here it comes. On the ground, right side, past a diving Diuti. And the game will continue. A base hit for Mastro Mateo. Moves it along to Gracie Hogan, who has struck out and grounded out. Hogan started this game in the circle, giving up the first 7 runs today. Next 8 were all charged to Del Vecchio in 2/3 of an inning. Michaela Picaro did not allow a run in an inning and a third. Pitch low from Catania to run the count to 2-0. Hogan has struck out and grounded out against Catania. In fact, the only batter to have consistent success is Picaro, who's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and the only RBI. Catania finds the strike zone. Windmill and fire. Grounder at third. Ruggiero knocks it down. Has no play. Back-to-back singles. And just like in game one, Salem State putting up a fight in the top of the 5th.
Number 7, Dominique Del Vecchio.
Got a whole lot more work still to do, but 2 aboard. And Del Vecchio 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. It's ball 1. Rises high, 2-0. There's a strike right over the heart of the plate. Two one, swung on and missed. 2-2. Catania strike away from putting this game to bed and sealing the deal in a doubleheader sweep. Here it comes, and it's out of the zone. Count runs full. Runners will get a head start. Delivery is high, ball 4. Catania issues the walk. It's the first walk she's allowed today. Bases are loaded. That last out's always the hardest one to get. 2 singles and a walk for Salem State with 2 outs here in the 5th, still down 14. Casey Nolan bats next. Nolan is 0 for 2 in game 2, a fly out to center, and she's reached on a fielder's choice. There's a strike over the inner half of the plate. In the air, shallow center. That is up for Harlinski, and the ball game is over. Haley Catania pitches her 6th career complete game. The Beacons complete the sweep, winning 15-1. So UMass Boston goes to 20-12 on the season. Doubleheader sweep. Beg your pardon, 19-12 with doubleheader sweep. They have won 5 in a row, and Natalia Ardagna gets her 201st career win. Salem State falls to 11-21. The win goes to Haley Catania. She's now 6-5. The loss to Gracie Hogan. She's now 3-9. Looking ahead for the Beacons, they will play tomorrow, not Saturday, tomorrow at Rhode Island College due to weather. Back Tuesday against Castleton, and then Thursday they wrap things up with Southern Maine in conference play before traveling on the road to play Babson in the non-conference. Our crew today, how about doing it all, producing and playing shortstop, Gigi Braga, our entire remainder of the crew, Bree Colucci, Eileen Shee, statistician Steph Orensky. I'm Bill Spalding saying so long from UMass Boston, where once again your final score in the doubleheader, UMass Boston gets the sweep 12-4 and 15